and he's about to do it to this silver car, or he's going to undertake. What's the guess? Undertake or ram them out the way? Undertake. Well, hello everyone. How are you all doing today? I am here on the Scrambler XC because what I did last time was I didn't actually compare any other bike except my twin to my twin. So they've kindly offered me it, and it's just started raining. So the first thing we've got to do is change the mode. So we're going to go down into rain mode. Oh, this is complicated already. Rain, and it's already in that. Clutch in. So we don't have heated greeps in the stock one. I'll just see what my lights are doing. We've got running light or riding light, I think we'll do that, and then it's got a super bright flasher as well. Wow, it's a very interesting driving position. I'm just testing the brakes. Lovely. Very lovely driving position actually. So I'm going to be comparing this to a mix of my street twin and the Urban GS, because they both are bikes I've experienced a lot. But actually, wow, the seating position on this is incredible. You know, it's a big bike, but actually I don't notice it as much as I thought I would. And it just feels like my street twins had some leg extension, which is essentially what this bike is really. So when I'm looking at it, you know, it's a street twin on stilts, essentially, you know. And now we're running at about 73. The mirrors are useful again. And actually they've been conveniently set up perfectly for me. Just waiting for Mr. Cleo to decide what he's doing. Come on, there we go, right. Really good pull. It's definitely got it. Engine braking is quite strong. Remembering this is the 1200, not the 900. Sounds great. And it's got a full LED headlight, which is probably the smartest thing I've ever seen, so I'll show you around it later. Lovely high. You see I'm taller than a Tesla. Definitely taller than whatever that is. But I'm about as tall as a van, and pretty great actually for road height. It's so refined. If you turn the engine sound off now, apart from a small rumble under me, I don't quite know I'm on a motorbike, which I suppose on a long day is quite useful, but on a short day I'm not entirely sure how helpful that is. Stalled it again. I know Richie Vida had problems when he rode it with stalling it, so I'm not sure if it's just something to do with user error really. Just watching Doris here, checking she knows I'm here. Thank you, Doris. And I'm also really regretting coming this way, if I'm being honest with you. So that feels good. Oh, what a idiot. What a mug. Oh dear. So what's it like off the bike? Well, the bike is quite tall, as you can see, or I'm just very, very small. The wheel is gigantic, but that seems to be the way for many off-road bikes. If I jump on the actual bike itself, lift it up for you, it's not too bad actually once you're on it. You know, you have a nice, comfortable seating position. I feel very big and very upright. Got my feet nearly flat on the floor. I'm hoping I framed this right so you can see my feet, but they are tiptoeing slightly. But it's not too bad for me. It's totally doable. Let's just see if we can get my camera to move with me. Thank you, camera. So, feels pretty good, pretty reassured. So let's move round to my side shot now. Okay, so we've seen the bike from the front. Well, what's it like from the side? Well, again, remember I'm quite short, can't do anything about it, so that's why standing at the side of the bike is quite important for me. How can I move it around? We've just seen I can move it okay, obviously. When I move on my drive's lovely and flat. Here we go. So we jump on it. Pretty confident, but if we look down at my feet, That is what I'm talking about. I'm not flat foot, and that would bother me slightly. On the BMW, I'm a bit more like this, just about doable. But in terms of the actual riding position, no, it feels absolutely lovely. There's no weight on the wrists, the shoulders feel nice and free, and everything just feels very easy to move around, to be honest. But hope you've seen that from the camera, nice and upright. I think I could spend all day on this. Give you an idea of how it looks when I'm riding. Obviously I do have gloves on. I would totally say that if you're looking for a bike and you are a bit short, go and jump on it anyway. So this is 850mm seat height. That's my maximum too. And again, this is how I normally stop. I've got one foot down. I'll show you how I normally stop on the other side. So I've got the right foot totally on the peg and the left foot is totally flat foot. And in terms of when I've stopped, well, we're on a gravelly surface here. We're sloped slightly down and it's not too bad of a problem really. So I'll show you around the other side, but again, it's going to be the same thing, isn't it? Stand is particularly easy to find. You just have to put your leg further back and kick it out like that. But that is pretty manageable, I'd say. It's not the most reassuring feel stand, but it's there. But again, I feel so cool. There's no words to describe how cool you feel on this bike. Totally fully stock exhaust, so let's start it up and see how it sounds. Just wind it up a bit for you. So you can hear we get a little bit of backfire there, but not anything crazy. So I'll just give you my closing thoughts, and sorry I haven't taken my helmet off. It's quite windy out here and all the mic's built into here, so as my first ever time talking to a tripod out in the middle of nowhere, I just thought you can see enough of my face as it moves around. But I'll give you my final thoughts when I get to Triumph Watford. But initially it's a lovely bike, but it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not as excited as I thought I would. It looks incredible. The price is not bad for the amount of tech you get. Has it excited me as much as I thought it would? No, not really. It just feels like my Street Twin's got a little taller. So it's a brilliant bike. Very manageable, very relaxed. I've stalled it a few times. I think that's just operator error. It doesn't excite me. There's nothing when I get off it. It doesn't feel like I've been on a bike. This bike feels very much refined. Does it feel planted? Yeah, it does. But I've already felt a little bit of twitchiness. And again, that's something that I'm looking at a different bike to avoid. The kind of nervous twitching, small petrol tank, suspensions on the Street Twin is fine. But I'm just thinking, I'm going on 30-day trips soon, where, you know, I've got a 30-day trip, and then I come back for a few months, go away for 30 days again. So is it something that I could put up with for 30 days? Absolutely. But how can I put up with it for 30 days? Because it doesn't do much for me. There's no rumbling, and it's a bit commutery for me. So I never thought I'd say that. So I think what I'll do now, I'll get back on the bike, we'll do some little drive-by shots, and then I'll remember to put my tripod in my bag. And overall, I'm really not very excited about this bike. I've got off it now, going, oh, that was alright. But there's nothing on me that wants to get back on it instantly. And when we're standing up, that feels absolutely lovely. Really easy to control. Super intuitive. And not scary at all, actually. Again, remember, I don't do this very often, but no, the clutch is very manageable. Suspension soaks up all sorts of bumps. And it feels absolutely lovely, but again, most of my trips are actually going to be sort of 90% road, I imagine. Might have gone too wide there for the camera. But yeah, very easy to control, does not feel heavy at all. A few little weird wigglings, but no, pretty manageable, I'd say. I'm in first gear, and it feels good. But in terms of low speed manoeuvres, that's pretty easy to do. And let's just squeal our way in. Right. Let's give this a go then. Okay, so let's get the hatch open. Pop it, flick it, unlock it, and then I think awkwardly the whole thing just comes off. Oh, and you're just left with that. I'm going to put the key back in my pocket, I think. There you go, let's be generous, £8. Show me £8. Oh, 801. Okay, so that'll do the job. Okay, that wasn't too difficult. Shut that. Wow, weird. No need to turn the key because it's keyless. So let's get started while I'm doing my gloves. Okay, final push and then we'll be in Watford. That was fairly painless, to be honest with you. Still saying 12 miles of range and still saying low fuel. Certainly feel the heat when you're stopped and sat next to it. And again, typical Triumph, it's going to take a few minutes to know that it's got petrol in it. The low fuel light goes out first. It gets caught in the cracks quite easily. The tyres are a lot slimmer than I was imagining. And I can confirm it is a metal petrol tank because I'm getting a lovely cooling feeling between my legs, which is the cold petrol. You wouldn't want hot petrol. Low speed handling with the clutch half in, totally manageable actually. Oh, trying to open your visor with the clutch half in, not so ideal. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Alright, let's just stop for a sec. Stick it to neutral, very easy. Okay. It says hold to reset, and I held to reset and it doesn't do anything, so interesting. Avoiding the... Oh. I think that's operator error. But I have to remember I've enjoyed people like Richie Vida, I've enjoyed their videos on this bike and they stalled it so much and they had it for a week, so I think it just takes some getting used to really. And now we're going to get an idea, hopefully, of the motorway speeds again. Now I know a little bit more about the bike. It's very easy to tilt around the corners. Second gear to start off with. It's busier than normal. Very confident. Third, fourth. Right, let's try the fast lane for a bit, shall we? Yep, it's got it! Whatever speed you imagine it can do. Let's try fourth. And let's try sixth. Really good. And actually, it's a bit more buffeting than I was imagining, but I'm not overly surprised. I'd say it's windier than the way here, so it's tough to compare this to the Street Twin, but it's doing its job. Really easy to change lanes. 6th gear. Yeah, it's only 6th gear. So let's try the cruise control, because I did say that was something I'm interested in, so I think I just one touch. Nope, slowing down. Hey, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Holding it. So the green light is set. So it's a one-touch cruise control, which I'm quite impressed by, but again, I don't know actually how much you get the chance to use that. Now, if there's anything worse than a BMW behind you, it's a modified BMW behind me. This one has no front number plate and is getting increasingly close to my rear end. I'll be getting out of his way because I've got more to live for than him. And he's about to do it to this silver car, or he's going to undertake. What's the guess? Undertake or ram them out the way? Undertake. Come on. It's a bit sudden, isn't it? So again, filtering it. I mean, this community is so wide, I think you could get a car through here. But it does give you that confidence as you filter, to be fair with you. And straight down the middle, I reckon. Let's do a bit more filtering. I think the chain's a bit loose or something. That, or I keep activating the ABS just by having my foot on the pedal. But it's got a certain clonk to it. You know, my legs getting a bit toasted. I was kind of expecting that. I know it's a high-rise exhaust. But there are other little things for me, like I have not heard the fan. I haven't had a second without the fan on. I just think surely the fan's going to turn off at some point. I'll be interested to hear it if you can hear it in the edit. But there's just this low whir that has not stopped since I got off the bike. And it's a bit annoying, to be honest. It's not even a hot day. So my closing thoughts on the bike, just as I'm going around this corner even, it's so nervous about itself. It's not very planted. I mean, you can... Oh no. You see? It drifts in the corners. I suppose I could put a bit more throttle on, but it drifts in the corners and it really doesn't fill me with the confidence I was hoping for. So just as we're at the back of the Triumph dealer, what does the bike do for me? Well, if I'm being honest with you, it doesn't excite me very much at all. Yeah, I'm on a motorbike, but it doesn't handle very well, and there's not much of a rumble, if I'm being honest with you, so I'm not as impressed as I was thinking I'd be. I mean, it looks great, that's the thing. It looks incredible. And going around town on it, you do feel very, very smart indeed. So my closing thoughts on the bike, just as I'm coming into give it back. Yeah, it's lovely. Does it feel like I'm riding a motorbike? No, not really. Sounds okay, but it's a bit too refined for me. There's absolutely no rumble. Could be a 125 for all, under there for all I know. And I just think they've taken a bit too much out of it for me, if I'm being honest with you. So what are my closing thoughts on the bike? Well, I mean, looks absolutely stunning. Really, really lovely. But it doesn't do everything I was hoping for. Yes, it's got a bigger tank, that's so nice. And it's got the bigger engine, which is alright. But look, the chain is a bit crusty and rusty, and it's just stuff like that I don't want to have to look after anymore. The rear light's absolutely lovely. Really smart. Lovely pillion handrail, that'd be good for India when she gets on the back. And actually, when she got them on the back, I only take up about that much. So she has got all of that. So that's nice. Nice little details like the rear put pegs. And again, that swing arm is absolutely lovely. The cross-spoke wheels are very nice, but overall, no, I'm not very excited about it, sorry. So, what are my closing thoughts on the bike now that the dealer has gone inside? Well, it's very, very nice, but it's not for me. It's got a great style to it, and it's got a great look to it, and the functionality of the screen is impressive, but I get on a motorbike to get away from all that, and I really don't want another screen in my life. It's just a bit too much for me. There are other little things I didn't like. Of course, the heat from that is, you know, put your hand on it there is fine. Untouchable there. That's not too bad at all. And that is pretty good. So they have done an amazing job. And the amount of heat that's absolutely rolling out of the catalytic converter, which is this section, is incredible. So well done to Triumph for doing such a good job. But for me, this is, 10 degrees today. Clouds in the distance, rain earlier. What's it going to be like on a hot day? So I know sometimes for style, that's what you put up with. But for me, it's a no. I'm going to stick with low exhausts, I reckon. The brakes have been absolutely lovely. They've been really strong stoppers. Really intuitive to use. You get a great feel from the lever. It's a Brembo master block, I think, and it absolutely does kind of everything I was looking for, but if I'm being honest with you, no. It's over there. Okay, things I haven't enjoyed. There's a fan in there that has not turned off since I set off, and it's a bit annoying to hear that fan all the time whirring away. The Olin suspension is absolutely lovely. That did a really great job at softening up the bumps, and the front tyre is pretty manageable actually. Don't be put off by the size of that front tyre. And as we went to earlier, you saw my side-by-side. Don't be put off if you're so short like me, because actually when you get on it and you have it for an hour, or the 2 hours I've had it today, actually the height of it really disappears. So don't worry too much about the height. As long as you can get 1 foot down, I'd be confident to say anyone could ride this. And just before I head off, if you're wondering what the key looks like, it looks like that. If you press this, it gives you an idea of how much battery is left in it. This one's on very low. You press that, and that's how you do your tank, and if you go around there, that's how you pop your seat up as well. But if you don't like a lot of things in your pockets, that is quite chunky. And remember, when you're riding, it's in your pocket, unlike a normal key, which when you're riding, it's in the bike itself. Oh, and also you need a key for the steering lock in there. So it's got some ups and downs, but overall I'm impressed with it. So I think it's time to give it back, and as lovely as it looks, I won't miss it unfortunately. And on that bombshell, it's time to end the video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.